on the grass, correct?
On the grass, yes, sir.
There were at least 20 Shelton High kids there in the lawn, correct?
I do not recall exactly how many, but there was a large group of Shelton kids outside, yes.
Do you dispute that there was at least 20?
I do not recall exactly how many, but there was a larger group.
You wouldn't dispute that there was 30, would you?
I do not recall exactly how many were out there.
You wouldn't dispute that there was 40, would you?
I do not recall exactly how many people were out there.
Would you agree that the two St. Joe's kids were vastly outnumbered?
Of people fighting, there was not many people in the actual fight. There was a lot of bystanders around.
How many people would you say were fighting in that video that you recorded?
To the best of my knowledge, exactly, I'd say a few, not too many.
A few?
Yes, sir.
Like those seltzers, 2 or 3?
Upon watching the video, I could see there was a fight in the grass and there was a punch thrown from behind from Alex Bernstein. That was it.
You didn't see anyone actually get stabbed, correct?
No, sir.
And the reason that you didn't initially share that video that you made on the night of is because you were afraid you might get in trouble, right?
I do not recall why I did not give it over.
You knew that that video showed your friends engaged in some assaultive behavior, correct?
Yes, sir.
You didn't want your friends to get in trouble, did you?
I obviously did not want them to get in trouble, but I do not recall if that was a reason I did not give it over.
Well, you say you obviously did not want them to get in trouble. What's so obvious about that?
Well, nobody ever wants their friends to get in trouble, but that would not be the reason that I would not hand the video over.
But you didn't hand the video over immediately, did you?
No, sir.
You had it on the night of the 14th, correct?
Yes, sir.
You had it on the 15th, correct?
Yes, sir.
You talked with Officer Bitsko and Officer Staples, correct?
I do not recall Officer Bitsko, who that is, but Officer Staples, yes, I know.
At the Shelton PD, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you went back again on the 20th, and that's when you talked with Officer Iannotti, correct?
I do not recall that officer's name, but I did end up going back. Yes, sir.
And that's when you gave him the video, right?
I do not recall exactly which time I gave them the video.
Did you share that video with anybody else?
No, sir, I did not.
Didn't post it on some social media?
So that night, the video was on a private story and then deleted as soon as everything calmed down.
Let's talk about that. The video was on a private story?
Yes, sir.
It just got there on its own?
No, I posted it on a private story, and that's when I put my phone back into my pocket.
You posted that video that night on your private story?
Yes, sir.
How many people had access to it?
I do not recall.
All your friends?
I do not recall exactly how many people have access to it.
Do you let all of your friends have access to your private stories?
I do not recall exactly how many. Some of my friends are in it, some are not.
When you posted it to your private stories,
Yes, sir.
you didn't give it to the police, did you?
No, sir. It was posted the night of and deleted almost immediately.
Because you were afraid you might get in trouble, right?
I deleted the video upon realizing exactly, what had happened that night. But no, not about getting in trouble. Once I realized what had happened and what had occurred, and we came to the realization that obviously there was injured and Jimmy was severely wounded, the video was taken down. Right after.
Well, you knew that Jimmy was severely wounded that night, did you not?
Yes, sir.
But you posted it that night, right?
I posted it. There's a button on Snapchat where if you just click it once, it automatically posts. There's no second verification needed or anything. So upon clicking that button, it was posted to my story instantly. And then I put my phone back in my pocket.
You posted that video that night, right?
Yes, sir.
It wasn't just posted on its own.
No, sir.
You did that.
Yes, sir.
Rather than give that to the police.
I did not have a meeting with the police I forgot about the video immediately when it was on my story that night upon first responders getting there and everything. And then I remembered about the video. I do not recall exactly when. It was in the next few hours to a friend of mine saying that the video was on my story.
You posted that video that night shortly after we heard you say, "Yes, sir," right?
Yes, sir.
And that was before you realized how seriously Mr. McGrath was injured. Was that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
You posted that video because that was a trophy. You wanted people to see what had happened because you didn't know yet how serious it was. That's the truth, isn't it?
No, sir. I posted the video. I do not recall exactly why I posted the video, but I just posted it. I wasn't really thinking.
Did you post any other videos that night?
I do not recall. I do not believe so.
But you didn't not give it to the police because you were afraid that you might get in trouble.
I do not recall exactly why I did not give it to them.
And you don't recall if you didn't give it to the police because you didn't want any of your friends to get in trouble.
No, I do not recall exactly why I did not.
You don't recall anybody laying hands on that car that you saw there, correct?
I do not recall watching anything at the car.
You don't recall whether or not that vehicle had that defect in the windshield when you saw it, correct?
I do not recall seeing that.
And you don't recall why you said, "Yes, sir." Is that what you told us?
I'm going to object based on asked and answered at this point.
Sustained.
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right.
All right, Tanner. On direct examination, when we spoke before, and counsel just asked you about the phrase that you said, "they're back." Let's reset, okay? When the Honda Pilot first gets there, where are you? First gets there that night.
When the Honda Pilot first arrived, it was in the middle of the street, and I was also in the middle of the road to the side of the mailbox.
So you're saying this is states 52. It's in the middle of the street somewhere here, maybe where the yellow X is.
Yes, it's relatively right about here.
Okay.
I was on the driver's side.
So when you say that it was in front of the mailbox, you're not saying it's parked in front of the mailbox, right?
No.
So when you're saying it's in front of the mailbox, it's somewhere in front of the mailbox, but in the middle of the street.
Yes, in the middle of the street.
So when you said on direct examination, and then again explored on cross-examination, whether the phrase that you used there back was, did you misspeak at that moment? Was that the first time they came to the house?
No, so the first time they came to the house was when the car was in the middle of the street.
Okay.
I misunderstood what the defendant's lawyer said when I said "they're back" was after the car first drove away, and I made it to the back of the cellar doors upon me here.
So just so we're clear, car's in the middle of the street, you go up, you're on the driver's side, you see what you see, and then the car drives off, right?
Yes, sir.
And after the car drives off, you make your way back to the cellar doors, right?
Upon the car driving off, yes, I made my way to the back basement cellar doors.
And when you made your way back to the cellar doors, how long did you hang out there?
I do not recall exactly. It was not too long.
And at some point in time, you heard "they're back."
Yes, sir.
And at that point in time, what did you observe about the car? Where was the car located?
Once I heard the yelling "they're back," I proceeded to go to the front, and the car was relatively close to the mailbox, more towards the yard this time.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 62. Can you see this right here?
Yes, sir.
What does this appear to be down here on the bottom part of 62?
It appears to be a parked car.
Okay. And this up here with the lights on, what does this appear to be?
A house across the street.
This right here, this structure right here.
That appears to be the dark Honda Pilot.
Okay. So if this car, do you recall where this car down here to the bottom of 62, do you recall that was parked facing Adams Drive near the mailbox, or was it facing the other way?
I do not recall exactly.
But at some point in time, when the Honda Pilot comes back, does it come back towards Adams or going the other way?
It came back and the car was going towards Adam, facing Adam.
And so this is the car, right? You're telling us this is the Honda Pilot right here, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's the defendant in front of the Honda Pilot.
Yes, sir.
It's safe to say that he's between a parked car on the side of the road and the car, this car being in the middle of the road.
Yes, sir.
So is it at that moment when you heard, well, shortly before that moment, when you heard "they're back"? Is that when you heard "they're back"?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when we're referring to "they're back," you're referring to this moment in time just before the fight starts.
When I heard "they're back," I was already at the cellar doors, and that was right prior to me walking out and observing a fight on the front lawn.
Counsel asked you why you videoed that fight that night. I mean, do you do a lot of videoing on Snapchat?
Yes, sir.
Why do you do that?
I'm not too sure why.
I mean, do you randomly video things?
Yes, sir. Me and my friends always take videos like when we're doing anything, really.
Is that the whole purpose of Snapchat? What's the purpose of Snapchat? Why do you have it?
Snapchat is to send pictures and or videos to friends, or you could create a story, which I explained before.
And is it common for you and your friends to just whip your phone out and start videoing things or taking pictures?
Yes, sir.
And is it common for you and your friends on Snapchat? Well, withdrawn. Do you use any other social media apps?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is it common for you and your friends to use social media apps such as Snapchat to video things and post them to your Snapchat account?
Yes, sir.
Have you done that before?
Yes, sir.
And when you've done that before, did you do it just kind of not thinking about it? You video something and you just post it for the sake of posting it?
Yes, sir.
And why do you do that?
Really just catch memories, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really about it.
So when you videoed this fight on May 14th of 2022, was it kind of one of those impulsive things that you did?
Yes.
And when you posted it, is that one of those impulsive things when you posted? I guess you said you hit a button or something and it posted right away?
Yeah, I do not recall exactly, but there is a button on the main screen where if you hit it, it immediately will post.
Is that something that you've done in the past?
Yes, sir.
Is that something that you've done in the past when you kind of can do it without looking at the screen? Or do you have to kind of watch what you're doing and then hit something real quick?
You have to kind of look at it, but if you click add to story, it will add to your story.
So when you posted this video that we watched today, is that something that as soon as the video ended, you kind of posted it and then kind of realized what had happened?
Yes, sir.
Now, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay. Any additional costs?
I just have some brief questions. for
All
you.
right.
Just want to make sure we've got this correct now. First time the car arrives, you're standing by the rear passenger side, correct?
The first time that the car arrived in the middle of the street, I was at the rear driver's side.
Rear driver's side.
Yep.
Thank you for correcting me.
Mhm.
You're standing at the rear driver's side. You didn't see anybody else surrounding the car.
I do not recall exactly.
You
who
don't
was out
recall
there.
anybody touching the car, even though you were an arm's length away.
Yeah, I do not recall
You
exactly.
don't recall anybody rocking the car.
I do not recall.
You don't recall anybody damaging that car in any way.
I do not recall.
Car drives off. You go back to the cellar doors for some time. I believe you described that as being maybe 20, 25 minutes, right?
I do not recall exactly how long. It was a little bit of time.
When the car drove off, it headed down towards Farmhouse Lane, right?
Yes, sir.
You stayed outside by the back cellar doors.
Yes, sir. I was
You
right
didn't
on the stairs. of
You
the
didn't
doors.
see any Shelton High kids go down towards Farmhouse Lane.
I do not recall seeing anybody.
You don't recall hearing anybody go down towards Farmhouse Lane from Shelton High.
No, sir. Not
You don't recall seeing Tyler Rich go down there.
No, sir.
You don't recall seeing Ricky Fiola go down there.
No, sir.
Nobody, right?
Yes, sir.
Second time you hear they're back, right?
Yes, sir.
This time the car is relatively close to the mailbox with another car in front of it, correct?
As seen in the picture, the car is in the middle of the street with a parked car parallel to it. Yes.
You were asked a whole bunch of questions on redirect about randomly videoing things. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
This wasn't randomly videoing something, was it?
I do not recall exactly. Upon seeing lights, once I made my way to the front yard, there was lights and what appeared to be, I thought, other people were recording. Therefore, I started a recording. Yes.
It wasn't random, right?
I saw other lights, so I started recording upon coming into the front yard.
You saw lights and that made you decide you needed to record something?
I thought that other people were recording.
You told us that you record things to catch memories, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what you just told the state's attorney, to catch memories, right?
Yes, sir.
This was a memory that you wanted to catch, wasn't it?
No, sir.
This wasn't a memory that you wanted to catch?
Upon walking out into the grass and seeing other lights, I thought other people were recording. And in this day and age, kind of just a first instinct.
You recorded this because you wanted to catch this memory. It's only after the fact, when you figured out what had occurred, that you decided, maybe this isn't a memory I want to keep anymore. That's the truth, isn't it?
I do not recall exactly why I started this recording. It was a spur of the moment, and I just started recording.
It wasn't to catch the memory of Shelton High kids getting the better of the 2 St. Joe's kids.
No, sir.
Did you say yes, sir?
I said no, sir.
Nothing.
Anything further?
Nothing further.
All right.
Your Honor.
You're all set. Okay, exit the witness stand. Please watch your step as you exit, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to adjourn for the day. I want to remind the jury before we do that you must abide by your rules of juror conduct. I also described to your instructions at the beginning of the trial. So those instructions that I gave to you at the beginning of the trial apply. You must abide by those rules. So tomorrow is a court holiday. We will not be in session tomorrow.